Hi, welcome to iPint. This video is a quick preview of our course on aircraft maintenance management. Use this video as a reference, and if it resonates with you, you can directly enroll for the course by visiting the link given in the description box. You can also contact us for the customized discounts and to inquire about the corporate trainings by visiting the email address or contact number mentioned on the screen. Enjoy your preview and don't forget to enroll for the training. Thank you.
Welcome everyone. Let's start our course with part 1, which is Aviation Regulations. EASA Framework. The aviation industry is a highly regulated industry. So is the aircraft maintenance engineering as well. In this training module, we are going to discuss about EASA Framework. Do you know the aviation industry is highly regulated? Here comes EASA. Oh, this is the reason that aviation travel is very safe. You might wonder how each aviation regulator ensures that aviation standards in their respective country as per the same standard. So here is the answer. It is possible because of the International Civil Aviation Organization, ICAO, which is an agency of the United Nations. ICAO takes care of the administration and governance of the convention. How did the process start? As we know, the whole aviation process strictly follows aviation regulations and requirements. Mainly, the whole process is divided into 3 parts. First, it starts with the initial airworthiness of the aircraft. Afterward, it follows the continuing airworthiness of the aircraft. Finally, it goes through end-of-life process. What is initial airworthiness? Let us understand about initial airworthiness. As an aircraft is designed and manufactured, a type certificate is issued by the Aviation Regulatory Authority of the country of aircraft manufacturer. Each aircraft before coming into service is issued with an international registration marking known as a certificate of registration. Each registered aircraft needs a certificate of airworthiness, which shows that the aircraft is worthy to fly in the air. So before any of the aircraft makes any revenue flight, it must obtain a certificate of airworthiness. The whole process until this stage is known as initial airworthiness. To continuously maintain aircraft airworthiness, continuing airworthiness plays a vital role. Regulations of initial airworthiness. Let us understand the regulations that control initial airworthiness. So as per EASA regulations, it is Part 21, which takes care of 3 key areas. First, the type certificate of aircraft. Second, the certificate of airworthiness. Third, the noise certificate of aircraft. What is continuing airworthiness? Soon after an aircraft receives initial airworthiness, it is mandatory to ensure continuity of airworthiness. The whole process of continuing airworthiness is a cyclic process and revolves around 2 vital processes. It starts with the identification of continuing airworthiness requirements. It falls under the purview of Part M regulation. Secondly, plan continuing airworthiness requirements. It falls under the purview of Part M regulation. Thirdly, execute continuing airworthiness requirements. It falls under the purview of Part 145 regulation. Finally, record execution of continuing airworthiness requirements. It falls under the purview of Part 145 regulation. Qualified manpower required to perform continuing airworthiness requirements falls under the purview of Part 66 regulations, which stipulate licensing requirements for the personnel involved in execution of continuing airworthiness requirements. Considering specialized training requirements, another vital regulation is Part 147, which is mainly maintenance training organizational setup. This is the organization or training school where aircraft maintenance engineers get trained. Regulations continuing airworthiness. Let us understand regulations that control continuing airworthiness. So, as per EASA regulations, mainly 4 regulations play a crucial role in it. First, Part M, Continuing Airworthiness Management. Second, Part 145, Maintenance of Aircraft and Parts. Third, Part 66, Licensing of Personnel. Fourth, Part 147, Maintenance Training Organization. Now let us discuss regulations which control continuing airworthiness. Part EM, mainly known as Continuing Airworthiness Management Organization, CAMO, which identify aircraft maintenance requirements to ensure airworthiness is managed. Part 145, mainly known as Aircraft Management Organization, AMO, which physically executes aircraft maintenance requirements as per regulatory standards and produces maintenance execution records, physical or digital. Part 66, Define licensing requirements for aircraft maintenance staff. Part 147, Specialized train organization to train aircraft maintenance engineers. Aircraft end-of-life process. After using an aircraft for predefined duration or lifespan, it passes through the end-of-life process, which is part of the circular economy. It is mainly divided into 2 phases. Phase 1 includes removal of all usable parts, get them repaired and certified to use on another serviceable aircraft. After removal of all usable components, next is Phase 2, in which segregation of recyclable and non-recyclable waste takes place. Finally, it goes for safe and sustainable disposition. Since you are now familiar with the entire process from aircraft production to its final disposition, now it is time to explore the key management aspects involved in this whole process. These can be broadly divided into 4 main areas from a business perspective. First, design and production management, overseeing the aircraft's development and manufacturing process. Second, operations and revenue management, managing the aircraft's usage in flight operations and optimizing revenue generation. Third, airworthiness management, ensuring the aircraft's continuing safety and regulatory compliance throughout its operational life. Fourth, disposition management, safely handling the aircraft's retirement and end-of-life processes. Together, these areas constitute aircraft lifecycle management.